Career Portfolio Manitoba has a number of ways of showing its learners how to communicate who they are and what they know and can do. A key way for us is using what we call a fictional exemplar. In this case, it's a fellow whose name is Romuald Paragas, and he is a recent immigrant and wants to get into the electrical industry. He's well educated, not necessarily qualified. And so this might be his profile page that he would share with people who would help him, people like counselors, teachers, etc. So he'd have a little bit of information about himself. This is a little audio introduction. He has not only career goals and personal goals, so he's sharing personal things about himself that he wouldn't necessarily share with employers, but he does have things like education history, employment history. He's got a little sort of personal task goal that he's done here using a particular tool that we have inside Mahara, and he's tracking some of his professional development, the workshops that he's been at. In addition, he's used the My Learning module to demonstrate his multiple intelligences and his learning styles. And he also has a learning community, and we have these job match summaries that I'll come back to in a moment. Over on his professional page, we have something that would be more like a generic brochure that any employer might see, that he might start putting on his resumes, that he would hand out widely, that he might stick in the portfolio slot in his LinkedIn profile. So it would have, as you would expect, a downloadable resume, the most recent one, contact information, how to follow up with him. He's putting his career goals first and foremost. He's got a more professional gloss to things, his professional memberships, some of the professional workshops that he's been to in his field. He's featuring a workshop here. This is one that he's found on a site called SlideShare, and he's actually commenting on it. He's got pictures from his background, so these would be pictures from workplaces in the Philippines. He's actually telling a story about the pictures, so he's presenting himself as a professional person, and he's building his credibility bit by bit. Further on down, we have things such as a certificate gallery, so you can click through these. This is just a simple embedded tool in Mahara, so his actual certificates. And also this could be pictures, a series of pictures from previous workplaces. In this case, we've just put in some sample pictures of electrical engineering. So this is fine. Most employers want to know, why is this relevant to me? And so for that, we have something we call the job match summary. He's got a collection of his right here, and he's got them on his profile page because he wouldn't necessarily want employers to know he's got several job ads out there. So let's go to one for the position of electronic assembler. What he's done here, he's lined up requirements on the left hand side. He would have gotten these from the job posting. So requirements for education, for essential skills, and technical skills, etc. And along the right, he's lined up his evidence, how he stacks up against it. So he has the minimum education requirements, and he's starting to link out to actual evidence of the training that he's gotten and that's relevant to the actual particular purpose. So this is his continuing education. He's got worksheets that talk about his essential skills. He's got, in addition, he's got evidence demonstrations, skills demonstrations. So for example, when it says testing and troubleshooting of subassemblies, well, he works in that kind of environment. He's taken a domestic camera, an ordinary point and shoot camera, and he shot a video of himself inspecting a circuit
What I have
board.
here is a digital input board, or DIB, and we are going to inspect the board and look for defects. So
okay, we aren't going to do that because we don't need to know about circuit boards, but that could be any skills demonstration. Okay, so that would be a job match summary. What I can show you also, though, is if we shift the gears a bit here and think about university entrance. This is a page that Athabasca University has to model how the recognition of prior learning, or PLAR, prior learning assessment and recognition, might work. This would be a person who would be challenging a particular course in academic program at Athabasca University. This would be the top page. She's got elements of her resume built out here, and I'll show you here now where she starts challenging learning outcomes of the program. This one is about interpersonal communication skills, and it's got learning statements. Well, as these learning statements happen, she showed active listening skills in her work background, so she can link out to those particular outcomes with actual evidence from her background. Okay, so that's an example there. A little closer to home, this would be a university entrance, University of Calgary. Imagine Romuald is in your high school, wants to enter the Bachelor of Science Engineering program at the University of Calgary. Here are the requirements that I've just quickly put into this same kind of template. So it's got an application deadline, he's submitted by a certain date, needs these academic subjects, and basically a percentage in them. So he needs an 80% average over the 5 subjects above. He's got 80.8, so he's kind of scraping through. He's got this is supposed to be Mathematics 31. He actually doesn't have Mathematics 31. He has Computing Science. So this is apparently possible, but it kind of makes him borderline, so it makes it important for him to show how he stands out from everybody else, because he hasn't got the simple slam dunk, I've got the subjects, I've got the average to get in there. So let's start talking about diverse qualifications. Does he have special circumstances? Does he have educational goals? Are there some significant honors? Does he have some letters of support? Can he demonstrate interest in the field? Is there community service involved, etc.? If he gets really keen about it, he could look at what do graduating undergraduate engineers have, and can he line up against that. So this is sort of outcomes-based learning for graduate engineers. Okay, and so these are some examples with fictional people. Here are some real people in our setup here. And we have, for example, this person here who is a recent graduate from Winnipeg Technical College as a millwright, is demonstrating his communication skills in a mock interview directly at the camera. So I'll just play a little bit of that.
Hi, my name is David Gonzalez. I just graduated from Industrial Mechanic Millwright at Winnipeg Technical College. Since then, I've started working at Canadian Tool and Die as a CNC machinist making hubs. One of our contracts is John Deere. Through the program at Winnipeg Technical College, Industrial Mechanic Millwright, I really learned to appreciate math while I was there. We learned about sling tech.
Okay, I'm not going to play all of that. Obviously, we don't have all the time in the world. You notice he's got his certificate out here, and he's got his education history, his employment history, and it actually links out to the course syllabus, so an employer can see how that would work. Here we have another one of our graduates. In this case, he's a real person who's been involved as an electronics engineer, and he has his what we call elevator speech and some pictures and certificates, etc. The interesting thing about this is he's also got a skills demonstration here using Excel from something in an extracurricular activity, and might be an inspiration for some of your students.
Hello, this is what I'm gonna show you is an Excel problem I made specially for computing bowling statistics. I made this sometime 2009, and it uses to compute the average and the total number of pimples of each participant. Let me show you what I've done with my work.
Okay, so that is a brief summary of the kinds of evidence in terms of showing who you are, what your learning preferences are, and what are some of the diverse ways of showing what you know and can do.